Yes, hello everyone, welcome back. This is The Last Word. Me and Johnny are just up the road from Elland Road. You might see it in the background behind us. It's really, all of a sudden turned warm. Funny enough, the street's called Sunny View as well, believe it or not. But this is The Last Word. Yes, hello everyone, hope it's a day now. So we've had the match reaction, we've also had the vlog as well. Hope you've enjoyed both the videos so far. Just me and Johnny doing here in Leeds. We just want to get this video out of the way because we're hungry. Let's not lie. We want to get some fast food on the way in. But let's go on with the lineups then. What did you make of it?
It was just the one change, wasn't it, Miggy, for Murphy? I think I can understand where Eddie Howe's coming from. I think obviously you've got saint-maximin bursting to get on. You've got Anthony Gordon wanting to come on as well. But I think it was sensible. I think it was the right decision. The midfield picks itself at this moment in time because Sean Longstaff isn't available, and you hope that it went well in terms of his scan yesterday, but got no complaints with the team.
Yeah, Matt Ritchie's obviously out for the season. We won't see him on the subs bench. May have kicked his last ball for Newcastle, but and obviously Jamal Lascelles will be out for the season. But Newcastle only have 3 games left. But Leeds, obviously Sam Allardyce has talked about they needed to get something from today's game, and obviously we'll talk about the game now. So we'll go into it. We expected it to be scrappy, and it was a pretty scrappy game, let's be honest, although there was four goals in there. Let's start with the Leeds goal, because it was fairly early on. What did you make of the whole situation of, like, the cross comes in and then the header? Do you look at Isaac, because I've obviously put the finger at him because he's half asleep and that's his man, where Luke Ayling's there.
Yeah, I think obviously you can point the finger a little bit, but Isak's not a natural defender as well. Let's put it out there. But I actually believe there's more fault for letting Bamford have the time and space to do whatever he wanted to do and then get the cross in. Look, it's a good header from Rodriguez and a wonderful save by Nick Pope. You can't do much more with that. And Luke Ayling does what most attackers would do, if that makes sense. He would do what Isak would do, if that makes sense, and puts it in the back of the net. But I think Luke Ayling was probably Leeds' best player today. I really did. I think there was only one real moment where Willock got the better of him when he slid in, but I thought he was fantastic for Leeds today. I think I don't know, he did well against Newcastle at St James's Park, but yeah, it was the perfect start for Leeds, perfect start for Sam Allardyce, and Newcastle needed a wake-up call, but we didn't wake up.
Just on that goal as well, if that Jacob Murphy starts left wing, is he a bit more switched on?
I think it's
Joe
harsh.
Linton?
It's a bit harsh, but again, I just think it's just the natural instinct is to try and see what happens and see if other players can defend it better. But I think for me, Bamford having too much time on the ball is more of an issue than someone losing their man, because they only had one player up front, Leeds, and Bamford had his moments today.
He did. We'll talk about that moment in a second. But the crowd were bouncing then. Obviously, both sets of fans behind each goal were bouncing off each other, and obviously the way fans are near down where the Leeds goals were. The Leeds incident happened, just the first goal there. But quickly on, there was an incident, the penalty. Was it clear and obvious?
I think it was a stone wall, if I'm honest. From what I've seen, it looked a stone wall live. It looked a stone wall on the replay we had on the right-hand side of the screen.
He says him, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's a stone wall for me. I've got no complaints. Do
you think Joe Linton's just worried that Firpo's about to get his shot off?
Possibly, but I think he's trying to get the ball, but he just doesn't get anywhere near it. And it's the easiest decision the referee would have had to make all day. It's just really poor, but I think that was a massive moment in this football match, and then probably if that goes in, Newcastle aren't getting a point. Yeah,
Bamford obviously steps up. He's struggling for fitness, struggling for goals this season. And he steps up and, look, the first thing you've got to do is get on target, which he does, but Pope does fantastically well to stretch his arm out, and, he's a giant in that goal, and he saves it. And it was a bit of pressure that Newcastle were coming under, and we weathered the storm a little bit, because that could have, like Johnny says, that could have been 2-0 down, and then you're chasing the game, and you're going to leave gaps in behind and what have you. But, we're slowly coming to the game. I was a little bit disappointed with Bruno because he was trying a little bit too
hard, wasn't he?
Yeah, the Hollywood passes constantly, like, keep it simple. But we eventually got some sort of breakthrough. I haven't seen it back. Obviously, we've just came with Elland Road up the bank. But it looked a little bit harsh probably on Leeds, but referee gives the penalty.
Is it enough? This is the question for you, isn't it? Is it enough to overturn it? Probably not. I've not really seen that back yet, but Well, you've got to shout for it, but he's probably gets on the wrong side of the defender, and that's probably is enough to go, yeah, that's a penalty for me. But great football. It was actually great play between, I think it was Bruno that played the pass into Isak, and that's what Bruno can do at his best. And look, big moments, need big players, and Callum Wilson had a big moment and he put it away. And Newcastle undeservedly got back 1-1, and you just thought that was the kick up the arse we needed. And it saw bits and pieces of that, but I didn't think we were comfortable at all, really, at any point of the game.
Nah, and obviously the Kieran Trippier was doing his trick where he picks the ball up and trying to. That's not going to happen if we get another penalty. I don't think that'll happen with Trippier picking the ball up, pretending he's going to take it. But as Johnny says, it was a scrappy game. We say that, and it's been 4 goals, but you take away the 2 penalty chances, which will come out in Newcastle second half. Did Newcastle do enough? Not for me. But we came out the second half, you're thinking, right, there's going to be a rollicking or. From either side even, but I think Newcastle started probably the little bit the better between the two, and you've got a goalkeeper there who's played 3 games this season. Test him a bit more.
We didn't have a shot outside the box at Rob Blaise today.
Yeah, but we got a bit fortunate again. It's a blatant penalty because the cross comes in. If you've got your arm dangling in the air, you'll see it on the go back and have a look on the vlog. I'm sure you've seen the highlights by now by the time this video gone to, but it's a blatant penalty and you think, ooh, it's a lifeline, because we weren't playing well, to be honest, but Callum Wilson steps up and cheers 2-1.
Yeah, look, for me, that just shows how good Callum Wilson is in these situations, these moments at this matter of time. And look, he wants to take the penalties. He spoke on his podcast that he wants to take the penalties, and cool, really cool under pressure. Fantastic. Joe Roberts could do whatever he wants. Wilson was scoring that penalty. And at 2-1, you think, yeah, we should be okay. We can get another one that kills the game. But I just thought we were a bit wasteful, as you mentioned, in the counter-attack. And when Maximin comes on and Gordon comes on, we just didn't do enough for me. But
just to put in with that as well, because I want to highlight Wilson's got 17 goals this season now. He could get a 20. And considering he's loss of form after the World Cup, it's quite a credible start if he does.
If he gets to 20, Newcastle should be playing Champions League football next season.
Where's there any wood? There's wood over there, can't touch it.
No, look, for me, I think you got to say he's had a fantastic season, but he's taking these chances, he's getting the opportunities, and he's putting the ball in the back of the net. And Isak's breathing down his neck if Eddie Howe decides it's better to play just the one of them, which might be the case on Thursday night, because Brighton give you so many different problems. But no, fantastic season from Callum Wilson. Just got into the in the England team last year.
Thanks for that.
Got into the England team as well, and he certainly deserves it. It's a big fight to be the striker behind Harry Kane, and you've got Ivan Toney, you've got Callum Wilson, you've got
Ollie Watkins.
Ollie Watkins is probably just below them too, but there's some good options.
The substitution with Callum Wilson, was that the wrong decision? Just not so much Isak being moved in centre mid forward, because we knew that was going to happen. But at that time, was that just the wrong decision, do you feel? In hindsight, it's easy to say it in hindsight, isn't it? You're 2-1 up, let's rest them.
I don't think there should be many pointed fingers at Eddie Howe for that substitution, because is Callum Wilson fit enough to play 3 games in a week? We've got to remember that as well.
Yeah.
We've got the Thursday game, we've got the game on Monday night next week. It's a lot of games, it's a lot of minutes, and we need him to play every single game. And when he's on form, we definitely need him to play every single game. But I've got no 2 grumbles about the substitutions. I think Anthony Gordon was on to protect Trippier with Nonto. Did okay. He got Firpo sent off, which we'll touch about, but Maximin for me was a bit wasteful going forward. He had a couple of chances.
That was the thing with 2-1 up, and we had 2 or 3 counters. Kill the game off, and I just think if you had that natural instinct of Wilson, and then it's easy to come on and do videos in hindsight, but in the moment, I understand that. We're 2-1 up, Eddie Howe. The game should be go on to win it, but we didn't. We were wasteful. Not clear cut. No, I think Rob Blaise had a save down low, but apart from that, he wasn't tested. And this is Leeds. I don't really rate the first choice. Myla, I know he's dropped to the bench, and you've got a goalkeeper who hasn't kicked a ball for God knows how long. But when it's 2-1, the longer the game goes on, the more and more you're arguing and invited back onto you, because you haven't got that killer goal. Yes, it's a massive bit of stroke of luck, a massive deflection. 2-2 with a few minutes to go, and you're thinking, do you look at it overall? Obviously, the goal, it's deflected. You can't really do much with it, but overall, Johnny, is that just a fair result today?
It's a fair result today, but we've had chances to clear that ball for Leeds' second goal. Look, the actual shot gets deflected goal, fair enough, it happens. Nick Pope can't do anything about that, but we had chances to get rid of it. As I mentioned on the match reaction, no one went close for none-two on the short corner. They just allowed him to have the time and space on the ball. It was too late. By the time he got the ball, he had a chance to cross it in, and Newcastle didn't really deal with it. They had chances to deal with it, but they just didn't really deal with it at all. But going back to your original question, yeah, it's a fair result for me. I don't think Leeds can officially say that they deserved all 3 points, because we did have a lot of possession. We did have some chances. We should have had more. But Newcastle can't come out with that today. Even if they won 2-1 today, I'd have been thinking that we didn't deserve that. We'd probably done. If we came out of here, we said bad performances, but a positive result. Today is a bad performance to a point, with probably a point which we deserved. I think we just about deserved a point today. I don't think either team can really argue in saying that.
And I think we all would have agreed, everyone in the comments as well, that if Newcastle won ugly today, we would have snapped your hand off it, because it's now to business end. I don't want to play pretty and win. I do. That's not the right terminology, but I'm accepting that performance doesn't go out the window if we get results now, because we've just got to get into that top four. Of course, we'll talk about the league table in a second, but Jason Tyndall, no. Shall we get him on? No, we won't. He loves the limelight too much, doesn't he? Yeah, is Eddie Howe.
Do you know what? I actually can't remember whether he pushed me or not. I've got no idea. It was just such a strange thing, because you're concentrating on the game. It's not something you expect to happen. He confronted me, said something that I can't repeat, and then he's led away. I think that's what happened, but someone might tell me different. I'm okay, yeah. I mean, I think that moments like that do make you think. The safety of staff, players is paramount for me at the Premier League, any matches in the Football League, and we need to be mindful. I think security is so important. Yeah, I think maybe the longer time goes on, I think we might think that that's a really good point for us. I don't feel that now. I feel disappointed we haven't won. But yeah, depends obviously what happens after and in our next games, but it could be a valuable point. And I think coming here was always going to be difficult today. The situation that the Leeds are in, new manager, style of play, crowd. I think we've done okay. I think we could have played better, but yeah, it's the Premier League. It's never easy.
So that was Eddie Howe, of course. Johnny, you touched upon the match reactions before we check on the league table and what have you. And Toon fans were singing about Sam Allardyce got a fat head and all this. And is this part and parcel of the game, or has the fan stepped over the line?
Fan stepped over the line for me. You can't push it. I haven't seen it back yet, but from what we've seen on what we've heard from other fans, what we've heard from Leeds fans as well, he's pushed the manager. You can't push manager. You can't push anybody.
You can't push official either.
You can't push an official, and it sends out the wrong message. But I can understand passion, and you want your team to win. I want my team to win, but I ain't going to push Sam Allardyce. Do you know what I mean?
Probably not you.
Probably would, but no, it's out of order. It's out of order. But that's just it's one little moment that we don't want to see in football. But going back to today, I think Eddie Howe will be disappointed with the performance, and I think there was certainly improvements need to be made. But I think
that's Magpies in front of
yeah, should have came 90 minutes earlier. Like the team, to be honest. Let's be honest. But no, I think Eddie Howe, when he looks back at it, will think, well, actually that point could be enough to take us to the Champions League. He's not going to mention the Champions League in press conferences and all that. He may do privately. But of course, we're obviously filming this before Manchester United and Liverpool kick off, so we'll see what happens.
Thank you. Right, let's take a look at the league table, because this is going to go out after all the 3 p.m. kickoffs and so on. So this is the up-to-date table. So yes, Manchester United, we are watching their results. Look, we have to not kid ourselves. We are going to be looking at Liverpool on Monday night and hope Leicester do us a favour, and then we do Leicester the following week. Newcastle do have 3 games in the week. They've got that game in hand with Brighton on the horizon on Thursday night. So, and that's a tough one, because they can literally outplay us. They did away from home way back in August. Who goes to say that Brighton cannot do that again? So that's, for me, the hardest game out the next 3. And then you've got Leicester. That's the updated table, Johnny, but the games, we've only got 3 left. We've got that game in hand. It's a toughie. We are looking, I think it's natural that all the other teams will be looking at Newcastle, wanting them not to win. We're at the business end of the season now. We're definitely going to Europe. We just don't know which competition it's going to be.
That's guaranteed it's Europa League football today, that point, at least.
At least we're not going to some dodgy country then.
No, look, the table's the table, but regardless of what Manchester United do, regardless of what Liverpool do this weekend, it's still going to be on our own hands with 3 games to go. Liverpool have got the form. We've got the extra game. The Brighton game's huge, because if we can win that Brighton game...
I think we beat Brighton, that's us done.
I don't.
I think it sends a message to me. I think it's just, you're beating a team that's probably arguably plays, along with Man City, the best football in the league.
Yeah, I think they're fantastic to watch, especially apart from when they play Everton.
Maybe that's a good thing that Everton battered them as well, who knows, because they're on a downer.
For me, the table speaks for itself. It's still in Newcastle's hands regardless, but we've got 3 really big games. Again, we've got the opportunity, we've got to get it, we've got to beat Brighton. I think if we beat Brighton going into the Leicester game, I think the fans can push us over the line, because 6 points should be enough. I said to you after we played West Ham, can we get 70 points? Because I think 70 points will be enough. It may not be any more.
So you say 6 points, right? So if I offered you 5 more the next 3, is that still enough?
No, I don't think it is at this moment in time, because Manchester United got 3 home games. Liverpool have Southampton on the final day of the
that's
season.
a banker, isn't it?
So, are Liverpool capable of beating Leicester away and Villa at home? Yes. Villa are a good team. They're currently 1-0 up against Spurs. So Villa will want to finish in those European places as well. It's not a gimme, those next 2 games, but you would fancy Liverpool to get the job done. However, Liverpool, this is what people were saying, Liverpool were the only team are capable of winning 9 or 10 games in a row. They've won 6. If they win the next 3, they win 9. They've done it before. They've won titles. They've pushed Manchester City right to the very end of the season by winning, ridiculous amount of games. They've got that experience. What we need to kind of hope is that Manchester United fall off a cliff as well.
Leeds fans celebrate the draw. That just tells you the levels. Where do you fancy going on the way home for food?
Do you know what?
It's a short journey home,
100 miles away, aren't we? Anyway, but all I will say is that it sounds like I'm panicking and worrying. It's because we haven't been in this position before, and that's why Manchester United financially cannot be in the Europa League. Liverpool financially cannot be in the Europa League. For Newcastle, it is a bonus. I would still rather be in our position than Manchester United's and Liverpool's at this moment in time, but only just.
And I think Liverpool would rather be in our position, of course they would as well. So we're going to find, I don't know where we're going on the way back, but traffic seems to have died down a little bit. It's a good 45 minutes or so, half an hour, 45 to an hour. I've lost track of the time. Whatever it is, I've done it backwards there, haven't I? It's about an hour. I would say it's about an hour after kick-off. Elland Road's in the background. Its sun is shining. Look, it's difficult, but if you can help us out, drop us a like. That gets one more views, watch time. You know how it all works, everybody, long-time subscribers. And we've also got plenty more videos in the week. It's a busy week here on NFTV. We've got 3 games in a week, so we'll have loads and loads of videos as well for you. But for me and Johnny, see you later, everyone.